Hi, I'm Joel. Thanks for joining me for a special Joy of Fixing 5-year review of the Shark Rocket Vacuum. In this video, I'm going to show you breaking down the entire machine for servicing and cleaning as well as part replacement. I'm going to show you the use on hardwood floor around the corners and also on different lengths of carpet. Stay tuned and see why I like this product so much. This video has been in no way compensated or sponsored, and this is a completely unbiased review. Well, I've had this vacuum for about 5 years. My wife brought it home and I thought, we just bought a new vacuum, honey. What the heck? We got a vacuum downstairs, we got a vacuum upstairs, we got a broom, we got all the Swiffer stuff. What do we need this for? And pretty quickly it became the go-to vacuum. Maybe not on the heavy shag stuff, but on the regular carpet, cleaning up little debris and stuff like that, it's been awesome. 5 years in, I love this vacuum. I would absolutely get another one, but I think I'll end up just replacing the battery on this one, which will come in a future video. But after 5 years, this battery's still holding up pretty good. I'm able to have this thing charged up and come out and vacuum around the room, get all the little debris out of the kitchen, get around the kitchen table, all the stuff that I want to just hit and clean up real quick. As well as this little spout feature, which make a home for it because you'll end up losing it. But this little guy right here, that's a lifesaver, getting in all those nooks and crannies that the Roomba can't get into, just getting a little junk around the edges of the countertops, even getting stuff in the cars. This thing's been a lifesaver. Now, one thing I like about this is it has a hardwood floor and a low shag carpet setting. It also has a shag carpet, and by shag I mean not heavy shag like the 70s, okay? But on top of that, it has this great little turbo switch right here called max power. So when I'm running this, especially on suction on the floor, I can turn this on and be running it. And if I realize it needs just a little more suck to get some stuff out of those corners, I can pull that max power switch. Now, of course, while I'm doing this review, there's not much else to say other than great unit, really like it. We'll definitely get another one in the future if this one falls apart, but it hasn't. It's not even close to falling apart. Even the brushes on the bottom of this are still in very good condition after 5 years of vacuuming anything we can throw at it. Of course, you're going to want to service it a little regularly. You're going to want to make sure that any clogs are out of the elbows. You're going to want to clean out the tube, which you rarely or maybe never have to do. But this is a great little vacuum, and it has all of these little things that seem gimmicky that they end up being useful once you remember, oh, this does that, I wish I had something that could do that. One of the great features I've found is, of course, this for going underneath beds, for going underneath dressers, for going underneath the couch. Check this out. Very tall, very long vacuum. I don't want to get down and be playing this game all day. This comes with this locked area back here. It will unlock the tube and it will allow you to vacuum underneath furniture like that. And that is awesome. Like I was talking about getting underneath the couch here. We're going to kick her on and I'm going to hit this lock and drop the elbow on that. Now it's easy enough for me to go and get way underneath that couch. And I can even kick up that suction to get that dust way in the back where I'm typically not able to get to. Nice and easy. Of course, it also has this little headlight, as you can see. I love the headlight. It's very useful because when you're vacuuming, it gets down low to the ground where what you're vacuuming is and casts a shadow across the dust and debris. So I'll be walking through the room using this thing and it'll look pretty good, and then I'll get that headlight over there and realize there's a bunch of crumbs and junk. Again, it's going to light up that debris really nice so I can see what I'm going after. It's extremely difficult to narrate what you're seeing when you vacuum because your eyes see it, not just this junky camera, but look at the debris in front of the vacuum. It really does light it up well, and I tried to turn out the lights here to show just how it casts the shadow. The low placement of that LED is a real winner. Really great unit. I really like it. The fittings don't jam into it and not work and act all stupid. They work great. Everything in here's worked. Nothing's broken down. The plastic hasn't even chipped anywhere. I'm going to show you this breakdown, of course, on how to take it apart and clean it and show you just how simple it is. But I love this vacuum. Every time I pull it out, I enjoy using it. It doesn't feel like a chore, and that's awesome. All right, so looking this over, first thing we'll want to see is the battery's charged. There's my battery blinking, only at a halfway charge. We'll let that charge, and then we'll finish getting this video going. All right, now that it's charged up, I'm going to empty the dustbin from the last use. Now, this switch on the side, when you push it down, is going to empty out your bin, and that's all you have to pretty much do. I mean, sometimes a bunch of hair will get twisted up in it or something like that, and you got to clean off that little center post right there. But other than that, it's about that easy to empty, and it always fills up because it always gets a lot of junk. Of course, to close it, you just close it, and everything snaps very nicely even after all these years. So the other way to interact with this canister is to take it off for cleaning and maintenance of the filters. And if you go ahead and look, you hit that eject button on the side, your canister can be pulled forward and pop off. Now all that's left is just the little motor here, little space gun for the kids. Maybe too expensive for that. As you can see, there's a filter up in there. We'll get to that in a moment. Of course, here's the top filter. This is kind of the more coarse filter, and of course the lighter filter. Now when you remove these filters to clean them, which honestly you can just clean them in the sink, you see the direction the dust was going into this pad. It's wanting to be washed out that way, okay? As long as you push the dust out the direction it came in, you won't seek the risk of getting that dust deeper into the filter. So if it's blowing in, you want to push out with the water. Okay, so anyway, clean those pads, make sure they're nice and clean. You're going to dry them out. Don't put them in the vacuum until they're totally dry. Of course, you can buy replacement filters on Amazon too. I'll put a link in the description or something like that. And so now you can see this other filter. You just pull that guy up out of there, and sometimes he gets gnarly, but I'm pretty good about keeping it clean. So he is getting put back in. I just wanted to show you him, but that's all that's left up in there is that little turbine. So we're going to insert the filter in the housing. We're then going to take this canister portion and hook it on the back there, right in that little notch that they've put on it. And finally, we'll push it up and it should click. If not, just press down against it like that on the counter. Now let's talk about taking the cleaning head apart. I apologize for how unclean the glass is on mine, but I have not tried to clean that portion of it in a long time. Because I just don't. I don't know. I'm not showing my vacuum off at any vacuum beauty pageants. So, first thing, of course, is you'll want to know how to clean this thing up because it's going to get all tangled up with hair and it's going to get all crazy. And, whoa, it's making like a creepy nutcracker face. You see these three locations I'm pointing at are going to be where you open the bottom with. And I'll tell you, I always suggest the proper tool, but for this job, the proper tool is just fine, being a butter knife. Just don't trash it. But you can get a large flathead screwdriver as well. It's just a simple click, all three of them. And then there's a place where it shows you to pinch these two indentations where your fingers go and just pop that bottom off. And that's it. You're into it. There's nothing else to take apart unless you're going to take the roller off. And taking the roller off is an enormous chore that you probably will never have to do. So, of course, this passageway down here is where everything would group up and get all clogged. It tries to pull it in from that tube area, that channel, and push it to the tube, of course, or pull it to the tube. Now, there's a little elbow in here of flex material, obviously. I've never clogged it on this vacuum because it doesn't let stuff big enough to clog it. Really good design here. I don't know how they did it. Never, ever a clog there. But if you did somehow clog it, you can just take a chopstick or something like that, stick it down the tube, and push the clog back out. As you can see right down the tube, it's totally clear there, but you can just push that whole thing out. Chopstick, drumstick, some sort of stick, as long as you're not making the clog worse. And then, of course, all these strings are twisted up on the brush underneath. This is pretty recent, but you see these channels that are into the plastic here. It makes it super simple to just grab a pair of scissors and run the scissors down that channel and trim those threads on one or both sides. Usually one is just fine. And now it's free. You can just start pulling it out. Not that hard to clean up. During this process, you'll end up taking better care of your brushes as well, because all the little stuff that gets stuck in them, you'll end up servicing. So that's fine. Let's see. Still picking. Boy, sometimes this thing can get thready. It depends on what you're doing, but like any vacuum, I'm just showing you here in real time. It's not bad. I like that little channel that's cut in there so that you can run the scissors through it, because it just makes it so much easier. A lot of vacuums don't have that for whatever reason. So, alright, she's about clean here, all I can handle at least. A couple little fuzz balls on there. Oh, see, that's killing my scrubbing power. Gotta get that off. Alright, I think that's gonna do it. Stick that in right back in like that, push down and click. Get that butter knife, flathead screwdriver out, old Craftsman pocket screwdriver on your keychain, whatever, something flat. Click. All three are done and it is reassembled. That is all the maintenance you ever need to do on this little vacuum, ever. Ever, ever, ever. One last thing I'll show you about the features is you can take this tube out, and my kids love this, especially the little ones, like 5 and under. If you have nothing else for them to do and you're trying to just keep them busy cleaning and you know they're not going to suck up some debris like this or something with it, I mean, it's got a little tiny tube, guys. It's for the smaller stuff, sweep up the bigger stuff. You can hook this right in to this little spot. This is great for stairways, piece of cake. Way better than anything else I've ever had for stairways. And then, of course, getting out the corners of the stairways here. But as far as the kids go, you can have them hit a rug or something and tell them get down there nice and low, and they'll be doing this thing, little tiny kids. But this thing's the best. The other thing I like is it's not going to waste battery if it's upright like this. The roller doesn't engage, and you'll see the light until you kick it back, and the roller's engaged. And like I said, you can use that turbo mode to really kick up the suction. So like you can see here, it just looks like there's some rice on the floor, and we're going to hit it real quick. But once I light it up with this headlamp, you're going to see, you can just see all that other debris starting to light up, all these speckles everywhere. And you can see it's vacuuming it up without kicking the rice out the back across the floor. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of little fuzzy debris and probably salt on the floor. Now I want to give you a ridiculous scenario here. I'm not using the broom or anything to sweep up, and you can see it just pushes through nice and easy. Listen to that sound. No problem. Now, watch what happens when you pull back, because this is using the vacuum incorrectly. Notice you don't hear that sound. Where's all the stuff going? Well, it's going, oh, starting to show it now, right behind the vacuum. Now, why is that? Why did I just drag a line of filth? Well, you see there's this bar here that makes contact with the ground, this kind of felt or foxtail type material pushing against the ground. That assures that everything stays pushed forward and into the vacuum's spinning brushes. So, simply push through the mess, and it gets it almost every time. As you can see, even with this incredibly large amount of rice on this hard floor, it still was just barely kicking it forward. As far as any improvements I'd like to see on this vacuum, I cannot think of any, and I can always think of something. I love it exactly the way it is. It sucks up to the edge. It does a great job. 5 years on the battery, I can't complain about that. It's still going strong. Maybe the very top end, I've lost 10% over all those years using it multiple times a day, every stinking day. So I highly suggest the Shark Rocket. If you're trying to find some little interesting present or something like that, or just get yourself something nice to make cleaning around the house easier, this is worth it. Because I think the price tag's pretty high on these sometimes, although Christmas is coming up, so there's probably some sales out there. Shark Rocket. Okay, I know they're going to have like Shark Vortex and stuff like that, and honestly, after using this, I would assume those products are great products. But this product specifically that looks just like this, right here, got the turbo button, got the 2-stage floor switch, got the little sucker, got the extension tube with the kink in the neck for going underneath furniture. This unit rocks. I made this video because I love this vacuum, and I think other people should realize that it really is an awesome product. when you walk by it and you see the price tag and you go, ugh, I'm just going to get a plug-in $50 Eureka. That thing stinks, dude. This thing's great. I love this thing. It goes everywhere. I'm going to stop telling you how much I love it because it's going to get weird. All right, let's go on one little vacuuming trip. Nothing too special, but just to show you different levels. Here's one of those nice thin rugs that you put right over your hardwood floor. It has no or very little carpet padding on it. Not a problem. Vacuums it up great. We use this thing all the time to vacuum up around the bed and stuff. Just in case the dogs make it through to the room, we want to vacuum up any of that hair because we don't want allergies in our bedroom. Need to get underneath that dresser. Just click that little bendy part in the snout and underneath it. These areas are so gross and dusty, guys. You wouldn't believe how much dust accumulates. If you have a hardwood floor, you probably know. But if you got carpet, you have no idea what's hiding down there in the fibers. Let's go somewhere else. How about the stairway? I'm going down to stairway mode here. Little tiny one. And I'm just going to start vacuuming the stairs. I mean, you can see what I'm doing, right? But I like the size of it for the stair treads. It's not some big honking thing, some huge unit that you have to haul around and figure out a way to make it work. Like, we have our big vacuum, and we use it for big vacuuming jobs. But for just doing up the stairs and hitting a room or two here or there, this vacuum is where it's at. I would say if you had an apartment, you could probably do your whole apartment with this vacuum and not need another vacuum, unless you really were trying to do some crazy deep cleaning or you needed some of the bigger hose attachments. This vacuum really does a great job for everything. We vacuum all the crumbs off the countertop, we vacuum around the baseboards, around the toilet. Great vacuum. Anyway, let's get done with those stairs. All right, so with the fiber here, we've got a very low shag carpet, the old knee burner express. And right next to it, we have a nice standard carpet shag, regular house carpet shag. It's a natural fiber carpet, I think that one is. Either way, pretty good tread there. And this keeps up very well. Does a very good job if you just need a spot cleaner. You just have like one big rug in a hardwood floor place. This thing's going to last forever. It does a great job. I wouldn't use it for your whole house vacuum if you were in a whole house. But I'll tell you what, we barely ever pull the big vacuum cleaner out, because we use this little vacuum to just spot clean daily where we need it. So this really is our go-to vacuum, even in a house over 2,400 square feet. Multiple kids. Cooking every day. It just handles the job. And of course, all the foot traffic coming in and out of the house, it's constant, especially during the fall here. But of course, we live out in the country, so it's always dirt or leaves or straw or grass clippings. It's handling it all pretty well. I mean, we have a lot of these utility mats that you see outside my door in the basement. We vacuum those inside all the time. I decided to go after this outside one, but I don't know why I would be vacuuming outside. Great vacuum, Shark Rocket, 5-year review. I've been extremely pleased with this, and it makes me not look at this brand like it's just an infomercial brand. Like, this is a legitimate, high-quality appliance, and I highly recommend it to anybody. If you got a kid that just got an apartment, get them one of these. They'll thank you for it when they realize how awesome this thing actually is. Got some friends that got a new house with hardwood floors? Get them one of these. Did you just get a house with hardwood floors? Get one of these. Need one around the office? Get one of these. It's a great unit. I can't recommend it enough, and there's a link in the description to the best priced one on Amazon. Well, guys, that about wraps it all up. Piece of cake. Great vacuum. Love it. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and it helped you make a decision purchasing one used or new, or if you've been looking to see if somebody out there can vouch on if this is a good product, please like the video. Please comment on the video if you have one of these or if you don't. I'd love to hear what other people think of it, because man, I love this thing. It's a ton of fun to use. And of course, please subscribe to the channel. Although we're not typically doing a ton of product reviews, there will be some in there if I find something that I really love, like this little guy. So again, thanks for watching. Have a great day. God bless.